Hey everyone, so I was thinking the other day, what about if I tried to make a car that could go extremely fast in reverse? And so I've got some methodology that I want to use as we get into this, and I've done a little bit of testing to prove my theory. So the theory is, and I'm not sure if this is correct in real life, but this is automation translating into Beam, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. But you'll be seeing images in the background now, or videos that is, of me testing it out, and you'll notice first gear on cars is very similar in speed, like the maximum speed, to the maximum reverse speed. So those gears, first gear and reverse gear, are basically within 5% of each other. That's what I've gathered. That means that the faster you can go in first, the faster you can go in reverse. So we're going to make a car that can go ridiculously fast in first, and then we're going to try and use that to make it go fast in reverse. That's the idea anyways. It's pretty simple, but I'm actually pretty excited for this build. I've been excited for it since I thought of it last week, but I think this is going to be fun. So we're going to go ahead and use this 1990 coupe body. I think it's supposed to be a Ferrari, but the reason I wanted to use it was just because I think it'll look good going backwards. So we're not going to be realistic in the slightest with this. I really just want to get ridiculous speed. So carbon fiber, monocoque, carbon fiber. And then we do have a couple options in terms of engines. One good thing about this body is it has mid options. So we're going to try a mid longitudinal engine and we'll see how big we can make it. We might end up changing that around. We shall see. And we'll just go push rod suspension on the front and the back, but we're going to crank up the quality on this. It's going to be a very expensive car. Alright, so my initial idea was I wanted to do a V8, and we'll make it a magnesium V8. Now, fitting it into this car with all-wheel drive is the real test. And currently, we're having trouble with that. So one thing I noticed in my test is that RPM limit doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter at all. We just want big power. That's pretty much it. Because when we get that big power, we can hopefully have a good top speed, and then we can drag out the gears so that this car can have a ridiculous first gear. At least that's the theory. Okay, so if we crank the stroke all the way up, that's going to make our RPM extremely low, which is fine. We just need to have, again, that good power, but we can make a 7-liter V8, so let's do that. And for this engine as well, I'm going to go dual overhead cam with 4 valves so that we can get VVT on there. Oh yeah, this is going to be all billet stuff as well. And of course it's going to be twin turbo, because why would it not be? And again, obviously, the best of the absolute best here, this is going to be one ridiculous engine. Okay, right out of the gate, we're making a pretty solid 500 horsepower. We don't care about efficiency, we don't care about octane, well, we do care about that. We just want to make the biggest power that we can. Immediately though, our intercooler and turbine are lacking, so can probably get that up quite a bit more. Oh yikes, okay, that's 755 horsepower at 5800 RPM. Let's crank this thing up even higher. Oh geez, okay, 871 horsepower, yikes. And now let's go ahead and raise the quality sliders all the way up. I haven't done this for a while. Actually feels kind of good to do this. And this will help us get a lot more power, as you can see. All the way up to 933, and I have barely done anything yet. Okay, turns out I forgot to put a preset on the turbos. We're up to 1340 horsepower, and things are dying already. We don't need to worry about that too much, however, we are going to be up at the top of the RPM for quite a while, so we do need to be careful. The thing is that this car is going to be right up here the entire time, so we have to pick our RPM limit carefully. Okay, we're right on the edge of knocking, which means we need more fuel. And because we don't care about efficiency at all, let's just crank this basically all the way up. You know, I'm really liking the look of this curve. It doesn't match the gimmick that well, but at 1563 horsepower with how light this car is going to be, I think this is going to work. So let's go ahead with that. Just a few piston and con rod reliability issues to worry about, but should be fine. Our efficiency is abysmal, 8.4%. The fuel economy in this thing is going to be trash, let me spoil that. And that's mostly because the fuel mixture is all the way up. Yeah, I could definitely get more power out of this, but I think for now this is going to be okay. We might come back and test this with another one of my vehicles. The thing is, I did try the Bemero, you might have seen it in the footage at the beginning, and I was able to do 120 km an hour in reverse, so I want to be able to beat that. That's sort of my goal for today. Like, obviously that car wasn't made to do this, so if we can make this car to do it, we might have a better time of it. Okay, so I just quickly painted it blue. I don't exactly know why, but I'm liking the look of that. What I want to do though, and because this car is meant to go in reverse, we have to make some adjustments, and that means this is the back, and this is going to be the front. So let's put the front over here, we'll put the back over here. This car is going to be completely reversed. And just because it's reversed doesn't mean it needs to look bad. However, I'm kind of starting to make it bad already. Okay, so I went ahead and added mirrors and door handles. I'm not sold on the mirrors yet, but the door handles are in another questionable spot. You really have to reach back there if you want to grab the door handles to this car. It's going to be very awkward to get into. And of course we need some lights on it as well. I want to try to use some of the lights that I've not used before. However, I've used all the good ones, so we're pretty much just left with bad stuff. That being said, we might be able to fake in some kind of modern design language. Probably slap some of these on there. Oh, that's really weird. You know, these wouldn't actually be bad as taillights, but in this case, they're headlights. I don't know about that either, but yeah, we'll roll with it. Oh yeah, something else I want to do, because this is supposed to be the front end, and this is going to be a sports car, theoretically at least. Let's put a lip on the front as well. There we go, sort of looking like a car. You know, I totally forgot to modify the body. I probably should have done that earlier. Alright, let's just shorten up the back a little bit, and move the... Okay, we probably want more passenger compartments, so I'll move that. I think everything, though, is pretty much where it should be. I just moved that out as well. So we have a bit of a slanted windshield. One glaring issue I'm noticing is if you look out the windshield here, you're going to be immediately blinded by these huge side pieces. That just seems to be a big failure with this body style. But hey, nobody said it was perfect. Alright, we need a front grille of some kind, and immediately this one catches my eye. I'm liking the look of this, so let's slap that on. But not to be outdone by my previous creations, we still need something else here, just to make it look a little bit nicer, and we'll probably need something on the nose area as well. Oh, I just so happen to have some pretty neat looking badges, so let's slap one of those on, and I think that completes the front end look. Oh, you know what? We probably need a wiper on the front as well. Gotta be able to see in the rain. Yeah, there we go. That should cover that entire windshield, or maybe from the top. Probably makes a bit more sense. Alright, on to the back. So we have a pretty big back piece of glass here to work with, and then a lot of space here to do a back bumper and diffuser and stuff. So let's work with that. Immediately I'm going to whip out a huge diffuser just to see if I can make it fit. And the answer is... it's just a little bit too big. Let's go ahead with one of these ones here just because it's nice and it pre-cuts out the exhaust holes for me. Makes it a lot easier. And then let's see if we can get the exhaust to route to the back as well. That would be pretty good. Okay, so just using... I think these are normal bits. These are just stock game assets. Those stick out nicely on there, and if we add the engine in, the exhaust is all over the place somewhere at the front. Okay, what I'm thinking for the back here is we need like a big bar backlight, but we should also add a license plate, of course. So let's just add one of these custom ones in, probably this. So the taillights are a little bit tricky just because we went for a nice, well, semi-modern look up at the front, so we probably should find something reasonable at the back as well. And reasonable is always difficult. Like what I was thinking I might do is put something like this on, but then kind of connect them in between there. I don't know though, still gotta mess around with it. Never would I have thought such transcendent beauty would be possible in automation. It's just so lovely. I feel inspired after doing this actually. I feel like we need to give it a proper name. It definitely needs to show who has inspired such beauty as this. The streams of yore. It is perfectly named. Alright, so our trunk is massive and looking a little bit empty. I was thinking of potentially adding some kind of bars to it to make it look a little bit nicer. Maybe fill in the space that it's leaving, but, well, can't exactly do that. Now, keeping in mind this car is a bit of a weird one. It's sort of a mid-front engine, so we probably need some kind of ventilation on the hood to make it seem like it's actually supposed to be there. Maybe if I use some of these vents here, I can fake one in. And because this is a sporty car, let's go ahead and add a roof scoop to it. We just got to make sure that it's pointing the right direction. Probably something like that. Yeah, actually that looks pretty good. I'm trying to think of other things that I can add to this before we move on to the tuning. I'm guessing we probably should put a fuel cap on there. Otherwise some people will note that there is one missing. It seems to happen a lot, so we'll put that right there. Makes sense to me. I think we're fine on pretty much all of the normal details though. Oh, we should probably change the wheels. Okay, these white walls are just far too good. I almost want to use them on this build just because it doesn't even look that bad. Alright, white walls it is. Now the choice is definitely going to be those. It just pulls the look together. Oh, you know what we're totally missing? A good thing I remembered this. We need a mighty wing on the back. That's what's going to fill up all that trunk space. Okay, let's try and find something good here. And by something good, I mean exactly this. Flip that sucker around, and my goodness, that is a heck of a touring wing there. Well, this wing would be surprisingly ineffective considering it's well below the roofline, but we'll just ignore that and just kind of continue on anyways. Oh yeah, that looks good to me right there, just like that. We have a mighty wing and a sponsor on there. I wish I had sponsors. And for the first time ever, I might actually be able to fit one of the spoilers on. Although they, oh whoops, they don't usually work out for me. Oh, that's so weird, but it actually kind of works. It's covering up part of the light. It makes it look just a little bit better, so I'm actually going to keep that. And you know what, we added a wing, so let's make this a lot more aggressive. How could we not when we have so much other stuff going on now? Alright, I think our reverse car is styled. It's probably ready to go. It's looking ready to go. Let's go ahead and go to the drivetrain, because this is where things get interesting. We want to go maximum top speed, although we will probably end up changing that at some point. Awkwardly, okay, no, it does say 413 now. I guess it wasn't working too well before. We actually want to go for the lowest possible ratios, because less ratios means we can devote more speed to each of them. So we have to split 413 k's an hour into 4 instead of 7. We want the spacing to be extremely low. That's the key to all of this, because right now you can see our first gear can go up to 366 k's an hour. This is going to be awesome. And power distribution, because the game is messed up and it thinks that the back is the front, it's probably going to want to lean a little bit more to the front. That might help us out in terms of our power distribution. Okay, wheels are super important. We want to maintain the top speed that we have, so we'll go with semi-slicks, and then we'll probably raise these up all the way as well. Totally unrealistic, but, well, we have massive front wheels, so that'll hopefully help us. Actually, in the name of speed, I think I'm going to turn those down, but we'll come back to that eventually. And the good part about these white walls is we can have 16-inch rims, and they still look nice. And of course, brakes. We don't really need brakes for this test, but I'm going to give it brakes that work anyways. We'll probably need 4-piston on the front and 4-piston on the back as well, we'll see. And here's a tricky one. Downforce would be good theoretically, but I'm actually just going to go for nothing. The reason for that is simply because I want to have the maximum top speed that we can get, so that we can go the fastest possible that we can in reverse. And I'll just give it the basic stuff that I normally do. This is unfortunately going to affect weight, and you can see that the production units thing is off of the charts. Okay, so the front wheels were far too big, and the back wheels, or in this case our front wheels, are, well, apparently just a little bit too big as well, although it is lining up nicely. This is going to be a very interesting one. I think I'm going to give a little bit more bias to the front end, just in case. And as well, we can add a little bit more weight, but also add some looks by widening the wheel width. It just looks nicer. Awkwardly, this car is wider in the front than the back. I'm not sure how that's going to affect our drivability, but we shall see. So the back brakes are strong enough, but the fronts are not, which is fine, so we'll crank that up. Aerodynamics, we have some downforce, actually, at the front, or in this case the back, and then we have some uplift at the front down here. We might be able to change that. We don't want it to be too strong though. I think I might just leave that as is. We're not actually going to be getting up to that speed, I don't think, but we'll probably be cruising around here somewhere, so we'll have to be careful. So back to gearing, the car is still theoretically capable of 366 kilometers an hour. I'm definitely interested to try that in Beam, so we'll do that in a bit. Alright, I'm going to export this lad. It's 1,000 kilos. I think, let me just give a quick test. If we drop safety completely, we can go down to, you know what, no safety it is. Let's just try and make this thing as light as possible. We might be able to get a little bit extra weight out of it, and nothing on top speed apparently. Well, I tried. It's incredibly possible that this thing just shatters the game as it tries to drive through this. And also I'm just noticing now that I've lost a bunch of weight. Everything is going to be messed up, so let me go and fix that really quick. Okay, I'm finally ready to export this. Let's go ahead and jump into Beam and see if it actually works. Alright, so this is the car in Beam. Now it actually exported pretty nicely. I'm happy with the way that it looks. However, it does have a few issues, and the main one is that it is horrifically imbalanced, which is to be expected considering the engine layout, the wheel setup, and just generally everything about this car. And also, because the first gear is so tall, it will stall pretty much instantly, so you start it up, and then as soon as you shift it into gear, it stalls immediately. In order to get it going, that means that I have to rev it like crazy in neutral, and then shift it into drive, and then drive it like this. So you can see immediately this car will break any record I've already set. 100 and something there before it eventually dies. But that is ridiculously fast in reverse. Now before you ask, I've added down there the airspeed. So that'll let us know how fast we're actually going when we spin out like that and the wheels spin and everything starts to die. So let's give it a try. Let's see how fast I can get this car to go based on airspeed. Oh, went in reverse by accident. Let me try that again. There we go. That's forwards. Okay, 40 something kilometers an hour. I think I'm gonna have to do this slowly. We do have basically unlimited time on this map, but we really have to be careful. I have to come off and on the throttle constantly. And then as soon as it spins, yikes, so that was like 180 something there. That was pretty decent. Let me see if I can do better than that. Like I said before, a car that has 3,200 horsepower, I was able to get up to 120 kilometers an hour in reverse. But in this case, this car is, well, made to be this way. So it's kind of a difficult line to cross. Oh, that was 190 something, goodness. Can we cross 200 kilometers an hour in reverse? I think we can. So the testing for this is probably not going to take that long because this is all we're going to do, but I will show you some of the other cars and how they behave at this kind of speed, just so you can see what they look like. And it's not just this car that's horrifically imbalanced. Goodness, it seems like it just cannot cross 200 k's an hour. As close as I get, it won't do it. I will say that the engine is actually very impressive, and I'm thinking about using it for some of my future builds because it's just so good. Oh, but there you go, that's 201 I believe I saw there on the airspeed. 201 k's an hour in reverse. Oh yeah, and just so you know, in forwards, the proper forwards, all jokes aside about the way it's laid out, the car will go a lot faster than that in just first gear. It was made for speed, and speed is what it gets. But again, it suffers from that same issue. That was my fault there, I turned a little bit, but it'll do that pretty much at 250k an hour reliably. So there seems to be something going on. I probably should have put downforce on it. I don't know, maybe another test for another video on that one. Alright, one more just for posterity's sake. Let's see if we can't just rev this thing past 4,000 RPM in first gear. 190, okay. Yeah, it's very reliably going at that point. So we must be making uplift, we must be messing with the setup here. Let me know if you want to see me try this again, but maybe with a little bit more fine-tuning. I think this car is pretty much good for now, but I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the other ones I've done. And can we make it in forwards? No, 268, and I don't think we're going to survive that. Alright, just to give you some perspective here, the ever-beautiful Bugo can do, let's see, maybe 40 or 50 in reverse? 40 exactly. Okay, that's not exactly lightning quick. The absolutely ridiculous car that I made on stream one time can do 80 in reverse, but that's it. A vehicle with over 4,000 horsepower, if I'm remembering correctly. How well can this one go in reverse? Well, pretty good. 150 something, at least that's what the gauge is saying. 168 though, in reverse. Yeah, I think we have second fastest right here. It's been a while since I had this car out, and I am astonished at how fast it is. Just watch this. So it's in sport mode, its piston rings are damaged, but we are still going, what is that, 400 kilometers an hour? And still climbing. This thing is just absolutely ridiculous. I need to make a top speed car at some point, and I feel that time might be coming soon now that I've tried it in reverse. Yeah, that's 465 according to the airspeed. Just insane. And believe it or not, this thing was still stable at that speed, so somehow we can manage it. If I can do it with this, I can do it with something better. And just as an interesting test, I don't know if this is actually going to work or not, let's just go to ESC off in this car that's a Beam car. This one is not made in automation. I'm going to move into first gear and just accelerate. We can get up to 64 k's an hour before it hard limits us there on first gear. So let's go ahead and try it in reverse and see if it's similar results to the automation cars. Oh, it can actually go faster in reverse than it can forwards. Interesting. I don't think I experienced that at all with my my automation car testing so far. I'm definitely gonna have to do more research into this to see like what cars are faster in reverse than forwards. I don't know. It might be an interesting test. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think I should do with these sort of builds in the future. This has been a lot of fun though. I really like kind of just creating some ridiculous vehicles and then seeing how they react in Beam. I didn't think it would work, and I was correct, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied. So make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I'm going to keep making more of it, so if you subscribe, you'll be able to see it first. And I want to challenge you as members of the community, make a car like this one and try to beat me. Beat 200 k's an hour in reverse. I'm very sure it's possible, but it should be a little bit difficult, I think. So post in the comments if you beat me and how you did it. Post about your engine, your setup. Let me know how you did it so I can adjust mine. And I'll be sure to look at them and just kind of see how you did it. And maybe I'll apply that to my own setup, who knows. Well, the video's not over until I've read out the supporter names. If you want to join this list, make sure to hit the join button and then pick Advanced Supporter or Supporter. Advanced gets their name called out right now. We have Canadian Steel, Overlord, Dr. Ivo, That Riced Out Explorer, QT Bear, McLovin Plays, Terry Williams, The Most Random Person, Sick D Cars and Stuff, Boris Ramirez, Daniel, and Justin. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. It was very interesting to see how it went, and I was pretty excited for this build, like I said, and I think my excitement was worth it. Although I do think I could do it better. Maybe in a stream or something we can try some different speed builds and, I don't know, modify some of the previous cars to see how fast they can really go in reverse. Until then, I'll see you soon.